Good day, gentle people. It's your favorite Mr. 42. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna have a look at CC Chris. He's rambling again. Chris, your camera has started. Come on.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. CC here, Chris, from New York, Westchester County. 7/26/24. I got back from a little mini vacation upstate New York, and it's just so nice up there, you know, away from this mayhem.
Good for you, Chris. I hope you had a great time.
Alright, so I had a nurse the other day.
Good for you, Chris, but you should have taken one years ago. Better late than never, I guess.
She's in the car. They send them out with some of the patients sometimes. And she gets car sick. Which I don't understand. I can't really comprehend that. Because if you can't, you know, handle being in a moving car, what the hell are you doing here anyway to begin with?
Because she got places to be and things to do? What do you want her to do? Sit in her kitchen all day?
Would you stop this bullshit? Christ. Idiot.
And two, how do you deal with this 1,000-mile-per-hour spin that we have at the equator, with the whole spinning wet ball going around and around and around? Do you feel that?
Sure, Chris. The constant movement of Earth is equivalent to riding a car over a bumpy road.
So I turn over to her and I explain this to her, and she's like, you're just silly. Silly. That's what you are. You're silly.
The nurse called you silly, so it must be true.
Because we were born into it, of course. We don't feel it.
It's the wrong argument. But what can you expect from a nurse who is not versed in science? We don't feel constant motion, Chris. It's so simple.
We don't feel it. Go to a carnival ride. Okay? I bet you feel that. You know, the gravity carnival ride? You can't even pick up your arm. You know, I think it's called the gravity. I think that's the name of it. It's this spinning thing. It just, you know, you stick to the wall, all of a sudden your arms, and you try to move your arm. Actually, I had fun with my daughter with that. She enjoyed it. Because while I was on it, I was trying to explain to everybody the G-force that supposedly the astronauts feel when they're shuttling into space. You know, 10 Gs.
What's unusual are the G-forces that you feel. The shuttle pulls up to 3 Gs, which means it feels like you weigh 3 times as much as you really do. Or like you have 2 of you lying on top of your chest.
On that gravity thing, you probably only have, I don't know, what, 4 maybe? And you can barely move your arm. Oh, they're doing all sorts of shit. That's right, they're moving pieces of paper while they're launching off at 10 G. And look, it's amazing, isn't it? I guess they must be protected in the capsule.
And that's a little bit uncomfortable. In fact, it makes breathing hard. Breathing is no longer automatic. You have to think about it. And like command your muscles to work your lungs. But you figure it out really quickly because that survival instinct, man, it's strong.
That's right. It's such bullshit. Pictures. NASA owns them all. All the pictures from space are from NASA.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. You're wrong.
And I bet you're gonna tell me, yes, you fell for it. I know you did.
You're wrong.
The laser that goes to the moon and reflects off of a mirror back to Earth. And apparently they measure this on a consistent basis. The moon is moving an inch every year further away. So eventually it'll just disappear and get out of our gravitational pull. Probably in the next billion years or so, right? Or a million, I don't know. Who cares? Just throw these numbers out there.
Not sure what you're trying to do here, Chris. Nothing you just said proves or disproves anything at all.
No, well, you see, NASA owns that too.
Well, yes. Except for the ones placed by the Soviet Union and India.
Okay, because it's bullshit. They had to make something up. Put a scientist there, put him in one of these telescope warehouses, and just pay him money to do nothing. Sitting there listening to classical music, eating pizza. That's all they do.
You're wrong.
But wait a minute. You said you could see a picture through the telescope that we have in supposedly outer space out there of the Apollo 11 moon landing. I see, because they left over objects.
You mean like the ones from the USA? India? South Korea? Japan? China? Those pictures?
Well, you know what the funny thing is? I have a theory.
Uh-oh. Chris has a theory.
Remember when you saw the Apollo 11 capsule launch off, the moon with technology from 1969? Remember that. Technology from 1969. Perfectly panned, perfectly framed, and there goes the shuttle.
I'm gonna ignore that you just said shuttle. No shuttle ever went to the moon. Besides that, the shot you described also never happened for Apollo 11. You're wrong, as usual.
No. You know what I think it is? The reason why we haven't gone back to the moon is the cameraman had to stay back there.
Excuse me, the fuck did you just say?
The cameraman had to stay back there. Okay, he's still there, as a matter of fact. I think he has 5 or 6 offsprings because he's been fucking the aliens.
Are you okay, Chris?
So they're afraid to go back because now you have a cross-contamination with a humanoid, and an alien. That's why we're not going back. They've turned it into a man.
You went full retard, man. Never go full retard.
And now it's time for an intermission.
If humans can only hold their breath for 10 minutes, then how was Louis Armstrong able to become the first man on the moon?
I am in space, on the moon. Help! I am losing oxygen. I'm gonna suffocate.
This is the end of the intermission.
I bet if NASA actually came out and said that, people would fucking believe it. Do you believe everything that NASA says to you? Do you believe that we have supposedly a planet out there that looks like a donut?
Donut? What's a donut? It's raining again.
Yeah, that's right. They came out and said that. Do you believe there is a planet out there that is just all raining diamonds? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Mr. White. Yes, science.
Just run it on, make it rain. What was that book? Cloudy with a chance of meatballs. Maybe it'll rain meatballs and turkeys.
Chris, here's a little secret. That book is not an educational book.
Oh man, it's so fun. It really is. It's so much fun when you have a Globie over here and you're trying to explain to them about flat Earth. Okay?
Maybe it would help if you didn't contradict yourself all the time. Like, remember when you said in previous videos the moon landings aren't real? Yet today we supposedly left the cameraman up there. Yeah. Or when you said we didn't go back after Apollo 11. Except that we did. Chris? Get your story straight, man. It doesn't work this way.
Because you were there once, I was there once. Alright, it didn't make any sense. You're not going to explain it to anybody. How many times do I have to tell people? Debating is a waste of fucking time. They've gotta figure it out themselves. They've gotta be there at 3 o'clock in the morning, up all fucking night, and then all of a sudden, ding, 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 ding.
Time for your medicine.
Something's wrong here. We're not spinning. We're not feeling anything. Wait a minute. They're focusing in on galaxies and quasars that are a trillion millions of light years away, and meanwhile they can't pan over to a telescope and focus in on the moon and look at the Apollo 11? Oh, because it wasn't made for that.
Well, those aren't made for that, but we have other ways.
Really? Because that's 268,000 miles away, supposedly. So you're telling me that telescope can't zoom in onto a little crater and show you the Apollo 11? It's too small. Go ahead. Think of more fucking excuses of bullshit, of indoctrination, of nonsense that these people have learned.
Calm down, buddy. Always fine.
And they just keep coming out with it all the time. They've got to figure it out for themselves. They've got to look. They've got to research. And thank you, Google, for making it totally impossible to find anything on flat Earth. Thumbs up for that one, guys. Beautiful.
I already knew that Chris isn't quite the sharpest tool in the shed. But now he's probably admitting he doesn't understand Google.
2015, everything was there. Everything was right at your fucking doorstep right there. You could look anything up, type in flat Earth. They'll go into all sorts of other doors, okay? You know, rabbit holes, whatever you want to call them. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They've got to figure it out for themselves.
Like you attempt to figure it out for yourself and get even the basics wrong.
Look, you have my permission.
Thank you?
If you ever catch me in a Starbucks, other than taking a piss, and you see me with a Starbucks coffee, you do have my permission, okay, to contact the authorities. Because there must be something the matter with me. I must have just, went nuts. We don't have an accurate picture of Earth because they can't get high enough. The dome's up there, okay? The dome's at a certain height, it seems like, that they can't get a perspective of exactly what we're on.
First of all, we do have many pictures. Like this. Second of all, if there's a dome up there, how did Apollo 11 leave a cameraman on the moon?
Anyway. I thank you for subbing. I thank you for viewing my videos. Let me be a part of your life.
And that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and check the description for more information. This has been Mr. 42, out. Don't panic.
In the shuttle, you're feeling 3 Gs, but it goes on and on. It's sustained. About a minute goes by, and you're still feeling those 3 Gs. And you're a rocket scientist. You had a great physics teacher in high school. You're doing the calculus. You're working the integration in your head, and you're doing the equations, and you figure out after about a minute of that's force equals mass times acceleration. The Gs you're feeling are the thrust of the engines. You're speeding up, and you do that calculation, and you say to yourself, I'm going crazy fast.